Who likes good news? Everyone? Then good news, everyone!
Today, we'll be examining the entire timeline of the greatest inventor in the galaxy, Hubert J. Farnsworth from Futurama. At 160 years old, he has lived quite the exciting life. And I'll be going through it all, from his birth to working under Mum, quite literally, to starting the Planet Express delivery company. Hi, I'm Lydia from Screen Portal, and this is the complete timeline of Professor Farnsworth.
Down in front!
His early years. Hubert was born in 2851 in the nerdiest slum of New York, Hell's Laboratory. He showed signs of genius very early on, doing some crazy experiments like transplanting the heads of various animals. He was accepted into MIT at the age of 14, but his parents thought he was not emotionally ready yet. As science made him a little unstable, they took him to live on a peaceful farm, being 1,000 miles away from the nearest microscope, and so it created some resentment. Every night he suffered from night terrors, so his parents would stay by his bedside all night and so read his favourite science books to him. Because of these late nights, his parents would always be too tired to play with him. Due to him being such a genius, he would have a total breakdown and was admitted to a prestigious institution.
A mental institution.
But Farnsworth would be out in 25 years.
It felt like a minute compared to grad school.
He would then spend a further 14 years in graduate school and soon became a scientist. Fast cars, nightclubs, beautiful women. He designed them all. Farnsworth would not see his parents for decades, but years later they would eventually meet again.
You ruined my life! Goodbye!
And when he found out that his parents would spend every night by his bedside, he finally forgave them.
Oh, Mama! Daddy! Oh.
Age 40 to 159. In 2881, Hubert got a job at Mum's Friendly Robot Company, where he spent the next 50 years creating robots that will one day be the cause and solution to global warming. One of his most outstanding inventions was a robot capable of qualifying for a boat loan. During his work at Mum's company, Farnsworth had begun working at Mars University as a math professor. In 2900, Hubert accidentally starts a rivalry between him and Professor Ogden Wernstrom, who was then a student in his class. Farnsworth gave him a humiliating grade for a pop quiz, a miserable A-. And as we all know, revenge is a dish best served cold, as he would finally get his revenge 100 years later. This is where the professor presented the idea for the smelloscope, a device that allows people to smell distant cosmic objects. Wernstrom gave it
an A-.
Anyway, cutting back to the past, Hubert is still working at Mum's Corp and has fallen in love with his tyrant boss.
Take me now, you stud.
She was the first and biggest love of Farnsworth's life. However, there was another woman, or shall I say robot, lurking in the corners of love. Unit 47 was his long-term girlfriend of 43 years, but broke his heart by sleeping with another robot, brewing Farnsworth hatred for robosexual relations. In Proposition Infinity, he unveils the reasons behind his robosexual phobia, and therefore lets the situation go.
I'm so ashamed.
Great for the professor, but let's get back to Mum. On Mother's Day in 2931, Hubert presented an adorable new children's toy called Cutie McWhiskers to Mum. But Mum wanted to weaponize it into a mass-murdering death machine, which didn't go over well with Farnsworth.
You don't understand me. We're finished. Oh.
At least the man had standards back then. You know, before the doomsday devices and stuff.
Doomsday device? Ah, now the ball's in Farnsworth's court.
While still working at Mum's company, he makes another discovery turning dark matter into fuel.
Dang.
But when reporting his invention to Mum, she decides to leave Hubert, fire him, and reunite with her ex-husband, Ogden Wormstrom.
Wernstrom.
Farnsworth's dalliance with Mum gave him more than just a broken heart, it also gave him a son. Ignat is the simplest of Mum's sons and is Hubert's love child. But they wouldn't find out about this until many years later. So, after years of inventing for the evil Mum and her corporation, in 2961, Hubert founded a delivery company called Planet Express, the stellar service with the most heartwarming slogan.
Planet Express. Our crew is replaceable. Your package isn't.
Before we move on to Farnsworth's later years, please do me a favor and tap that subscribe button. Only a tiny portion of you who watch my videos are subscribed, but when you click that red button, you're really helping the channel grow, and I can continue to make more timelines for you all. So thank you. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Aged 160 to 169. When the professor's long-lost uncle named Fry turned up on his door,
I don't have an Uncle Fry.
You do now.
Farnsworth offered him, Bender and Leela positions in his delivery company. This was less out of the kindness of his heart and more because he desperately needed new crew after some cosmic bees caused the first crew's demise.
Oh, those poor sons of... But that's not important.
Professor Farnsworth condemns his crew to some very dangerous destinations by declaring,
Good news, everyone.
Uh-oh, I don't like the sound of that.
it doesn't matter if it's a human-killing robot planet, he's very happy to send his crew to places that others dare not venture to. The Professor is infamous for his crazy inventions, like the what-if machine,
This thing isn't worth the gold it's made of.
the time machine, and many doomsday devices too. But his greatest invention will always be his clone, Hubert Farnsworth, a 12-year-old boy.
What? You've never seen a genius's wiener before?
No. Well, once in the park.
Now, technically, Hubert is a clone, but the little genius calls him Dad anyway, which is a bit cute.
When I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Farnsworth's history of building hazardous machines for Mum would finally catch up to him. Although he was a revolutionary in robotics, he made one teeny tiny mistake. They were extremely harmful to the environment.
All modern robots descend from my original smog-blasting designs.
And this reckless behavior would lead to the global warming crisis in 3002. But luckily, the Professor is not only a genius in creating disasters, but also averting them too, by instructing all the robots to use their exhaust ports to push the Earth away from the Sun. This would earn him the Polluting Medal of Pollution from Nixon.
Thank you. I deserve this.
In his later adventures, Hubert manages to make peace for some time with Ogden Wormstrom. And he even reunites with his former flame Mum. When Mum turns on a switch, forcing every robot to rebel against humanity, her three sons come to Farnsworth for some help. They ask him to seduce their mother and steal the remote control capable of controlling the robots.
Pulse-dripping sack of double-smoked butt jerky!
May I come in?
And saucy Hubert still got it, successfully tempting Mum into a steamy, inappropriate liaison.
Oh my.
But after she finds out he only bedded her to get the remote control, she ends their on and off relationship for good.
But dust cakes?
Although Farnsworth sends his crew on dangerous missions, he does care for them in his own way. When his crew are sent to jail for being eco-terrorists, he is the one that rescues them, piloting the Planet Express ship himself.
I could kiss you, Professor.
Okay, but watch out for my new grill.
At the end of the episode, Into the Wild Green Yonder, the entire crew are branded criminals and go on the run. While being pursued by Zap Brannigan's Nimbus, they are left with no other option than to plunge into a massive wormhole, not knowing what is on the other side, and it seems like this is the end for our Planet Express crew. Aged 170 to eternity. In the new installment of Futurama Rebirth, the crew pass through a giant wormhole and are on a collision course with the Earth. Before they crash, they activate their safety spheres, which only protects their heads, while the Professor's protects his entire body.
Also, mine has air conditioning.
And so the crew are reduced to skeletons, but the Professor revives his entire crew back.
Baby soft.
Indeed.
In July of 3010, he invents a forward time machine, and Farnsworth accidentally sends him, Bender, and Fry into the year 10,000. After a series of manipulations with time, our fellas discovered that the universe lives in identical cycles. So after a few shots forward, they get back to the minute they left in 3010.
Pow! We took care of the time travel paradox.
Later on, Hubert announces a new invention, a time button that causes the entire universe to jump backwards 10 seconds in time. So Fry naturally steals this and uses it to get rich in order to buy Leela a diamond ring. But in typical Fry fashion, he messes everything up and gets caught in a time loop of falling to the floor from a tall building. When his body splatters into the pavement, Leela presses the button, which causes the Professor to seemingly vaporize.
No, don't! You'll shred me into a zillion.
But the button is broken and everything in the universe except for Fry and Leela was frozen. So for the next 40 years, the pair aged while everything else around them stayed exactly the same. And as it turns out, Hubert was not killed. A tunnel opens up and out appears the Professor, who explains that he had been searching for the button for decades.
Boy, did somebody hit you two with an old and ugly stick.
He then manages to fix the device and sends him, Fry and Leela back to the exact point where all the madness started. Professor Hubert J. Farnsworth is one of the most extravagant, interesting, and complex characters in Futurama. His adorable quirkiness, contagious optimism, and irresistible charisma made everyone a fan of this secondary character. Let me know in the comments what your favourite Farnsworth moment is, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Futurama videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.